Hey everybody, Ron Bielefeld, Whistling Wings Photography. Welcome to another video. Hey, Canon R7, Canon RF 200 to 800. A match made in heaven for bird photographers? Or a match made in, well, you know the second part of that saying. Can't say it here because there might be kids watching. Well, if you want to find out what I found out about pairing the Canon R7 with the Canon 200 to 800 RF, stay tuned. So we're back, and I am shooting the Canon R7 with the 200 to 800, Canon's new 200 to 800 millimeter zoom, external zoom. And you would think that this might be the match made in heaven for bird photographers like me. 1.6 times crop on a 200 to 800. We're always looking for more reach. That's bird photography. We're looking for more reach, and here you've got it. No teleconverters. You've got, what, 200 times 670, what, that's 320 millimeters. Pulled all the way back, zoom all the way out. You've got 800, 6 times 8 is 48. What is that? 1,280 millimeters, right? 1,280 millimeters at the long end. Again, no messing with teleconverters. But, hey, I've heard people tell me, I've watched videos, and they say this camera, because of the pixel density, the R7, out-resolves the 200 to 800. You can look at MTFs, look at the graphs, look at the data. There's lots of things that affect resolving power of a camera, of a lens, more than just pixel density. And anyway, I don't want to go into all that. If you want to go into all that, hey, email me, call me, whatever. We can talk about all this resolution stuff and resolving power and how the R7 out-resolves the 200 to 800 if you want to go into all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, I don't care about all that, and I don't think most of you care about all that stuff. What we care about, put the camera on the lens or the lens on the camera, however you want to put it. Go out and take pictures, birds in flight, birds perched, whatever you want, and then look at your images. Do they look good? Are you getting sharp shots with this combination? Does it work for you as a bird photography combination? That's all that really matters. So here we go. We're going to start out looking at things like, does it autofocus well? What's image stabilization like? I can tell you right now that when you zoom to the full focal length with this combination, if you're not using image stabilization, if you're not really steady, woo, yeah, you're shaking a bit. That's a lot of magnification out there. The image stabilizer, I think, works really, really well, especially for static shots. Gets a little, and it works great for fast panning shots. It's a little funky, like I said in my earlier video, focusing on the 200 to 800. There I used the Canon R5 and the Canon R3 as the principal bodies that I tested this lens with. It gets a little funky when you pan slowly. Look at that other video and see that. But stabilization works great. Autofocus works great. You know, that's one thing about the RF system now with Canon, is that really the autofocus, all the lenses I've ever tried, RF lenses to RF bodies, whether it's the R7, whether it's the R3, whether it's the R5, the autofocus works great. Doesn't matter if you're using teleconverters or not. Doesn't matter if it's high focal length or not. It just works really, really well. And that's awesome. Here it works great. the thing that you kind of get into with this lens on this camera body is just the overall ability. Can you rise to the challenge of shooting this much realized focal length? Yeah, it's a 200 to 800, but again, you're putting it on a crop body, so whew, you're working with some real focal length there. You know, you can't get past that. Very small fields of view, a lot of shake magnified. Your shake, whatever it is magnified with all of this focal length and magnification with the crop sensor. Can you rise to the challenge of shooting this lens on this camera? Because if you look at imagery, that this combination can produce, I think it's great. I do. I think it's really good. And so it's not so much about can this combination make good images? Yes, it can make good images. Will it fit you? That's the real question. Is it going to fit you when it comes to, can you deal with the magnification? Can you find the bird in the frame? Yeah, you can pull back and then zoom out, stuff like that when you're trying to find the bird in the frame of a flying bird and stuff like that. There's all sorts of different ways you can do things. So I'm not saying whether you can or you can't. For me, I think it's a great combination. Now, you know, I said, is it a match made in heaven or is it a match made in, you know, the other place? Well, it's yes and no, match made in heaven or a match not made in heaven, made in the other place. The other place part, okay, is the fact that this is not what I would consider a low light combination by any means. That's the match made in you know where for us bird photographers who shoot in low light a lot. I'm kind of lucky, I guess, because I shoot in areas, we all want to shoot in good light, okay, but I shoot in areas that have a lot of light most of the time, in Florida and stuff like that. But I go to Costa Rica, I do tours there and stuff. It's not always good light, and sometimes it's good light, but it's low light, sunrise, sunset, stuff like that. You know, it's not a great lens and camera combination for low light, of course. At 800 millimeters, you're at f9. This camera is a crop sensor, so you start having to jack up the ISOs a little bit, you know, get up to ISO 4000, 5000, it's getting noisy. Okay, so again, I'm not saying it's not for you shooting in low light, but if you're not willing to deal with some noise and work in Topaz or in Adobe, wherever you're doing your noise reduction, if you're not willing to do that, can't deal with noise and stuff like that, then this is probably not the combination for you. If we all like to shoot in good light. So if you're shooting in good light and you need the reach, the light's good, this combination can be amazing. But it's really a combination made in heaven for bird photographers, but also one that has some great limitations to it when it comes to low light situations. That's, like I said before, the other side of that scenario. So again, I'm not here, I never do really tell you what you should do or what's good or what's not or anything like that, that there's always the best way and this is the wrong way. No, I don't do that. You need to try it for yourself. Am I going to keep this combination? Yeah. You know, it'll serve its purpose. It's another setup, that's another tool for doing bird photography. And if I need 1280 or whatever millimeters it is, I want to mess around with teleconverters, and I want something that's relatively small and light, holy cow, small and light, right? Easily portable, really, for that kind of magnification. Yeah, if it's in my bag, I'm going to grab it for those scenarios. It's up to you whether you want it in your kit for those scenarios. So anyway, not a long video here. Again, I've been showing a bunch of images I've taken with this. You can see that it has the ability to render, resolve great images. All of this stuff now, especially for, you're talking about the price point here, $1,300 camera, $1,800 lens, pretty awesome combination really for going out and shooting birds. Just, if you have to, limit it to good light situations. So anyway, that's it. Got any comments, of course, put them down in the comment section. I'll put some stuff in the description maybe, see if there's anything that I need to put down there, get you to some information about some other videos that have to do with this, my 200 to 800 video and stuff like that. But until next time, hey, be safe out there. I hope you have great light. I hope you're getting great images. I'll see you soon.